rejoicing in our being together. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. שלום עליכם, סלאם עליכום. שלום עליכם, סלאם עליכום. שלום עליכם, סלאם עליכום. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
So something special that we're going to be doing on Friday night Shabbat services is we can remember the high holidays back in late September and early in October. Thanks to the Grafton Endowment Fund, we had this incredible visual experience. We have these two incredible cameras in front of us where you can zoom in on the cantor and myself, and you're able to see a prayer book somewhere around here. I always feel like a weather person. But nevertheless, during COVID and despite a promising vaccine, we feel that we have to push this congregation to go down into the deep of creativity. And we want you to see what Reform Judaism and what the Reform movement can do, especially during this time. So thanks to our movement, we have something called visual tefillah, visual prayer, where you'll be able to see the prayers somewhere around here. And we want to thank Caleb and Mark, they're in the studio, who are able to do this for us. So for those who have our regular prayer book, go ahead and close it and put it aside, and you're going to see our prayer book right around here. There'll be some new English readings, but this is the movement saying to us, this is how we can bring people together, even. We're having some technical difficulties. Is the prayer book up yet? Okay, but you'll hear us in spirit because we're going to continue live, okay? We entered the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wandering, it has endured. A beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. At the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle up as we lift our hearts in prayer. And now, before we light the Shabbat candles, we light our Hanukkah as we celebrate our second night of liberation and freedom.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim la'avoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh.
We now continue with our Shabbat candle blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
For those who are able, we rise together for Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, meratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho.
Keep singing.
מאהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כיוונו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen.
Please be seated. Just a quick update regarding our grand debut for this incredible technical novel service. Unfortunately, Caleb, one of our AV persons, spoke to me in another language regarding our technology right now. We're having difficulty. We may appear somewhat strange, but back in the day, Temple Emanu-El used to have a radio signal that we used to hear on the radio, correct? So the sound still works. You can hear us, okay? Just listen to the music and listen to the prayers. We are here. Visual may be off. We continue with Psalm 95.
Running al Adonai, Naria, Litzur Yisheinu, Lechun running al Adonai, Naria, Litzur Yisheinu. Mafana betoda bizmirot narialo ki el gadol Adonai umelech gadol al kol Elohim asher beyado mechkerei aretz metoafot harim asher lo hayam vehu asahu meyabesh et yadav yatsaru ki hu Eloheinu v'anachnu amarito v'tzoni yado. We continue with Lecha Dodi, welcoming the Sabbath into our sanctuaries and homes. Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ay nay nay, ya la 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 Likrat Kala, ya la 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 B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat Nekah. Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ay nay nay, ya la 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 Likrat Kala, ya la 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 B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Shamor v'Zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmi'ah Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Likrat Shabbat, Lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor haberacha, Meirosh mikedem nesuka, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tefila, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 Likrat Kala, ya la 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 B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Itoreri, Ki ba'orech kuri ori, Shir da'ameri, Kevod Adonai alayich nigla, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 Likrat Kala, ya la 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 B'nei Shabbat, B'nei
rise together and face the west to greet the Shabbos Queen.
Oiv shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha ubtzola, toch emunei am sekula.
Please be seated. We continue with Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
We continue with our Chetzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו לעילה מן כל בחירתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירם בעלמא,
rise.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yadadai-dai-dai, 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 yadadai-dai-dai.
Please be seated. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hamariv aravim. We continue with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amecha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shofteinu ufkumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha U'b'mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki hei mechayenu Be'orech yameinu U'bahem nehgeh Yomam v'layla Be'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים לחיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osei vele, nora tehilot osei vele, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha bokei hayam livnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. May we lie down, especially in peace, and rise us up, waiting to do your will. We continue with Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai
are in people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We continue with Vishamru. We rise together for tefillah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekonei HaKol, Ve'Zocher Chastei Avot ve'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei metim atah Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morit hagashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayei metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al geburot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hametim, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim bechol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. We continue with finding favor with God with Ritzeh.
Adonai Eloheinu, be'amcha Yisrael, u'tefillah תהי לרצון, תמיד עבודת ישראל.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with its beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer our thanks. We continue with Shalom Rav.
אתה הוא מלך גדול לכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך גדול לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. מטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We take a few moments for silent prayer.
רצון אמרי פי רצון אמרי פי, מהגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, be acceptable before you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. O say shalom bimromav, O ya'aseh shalom aleinu, me'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, ve'imeru, amen.
At this moment in our service, we take time to think of those in our community who are in need of healing of body and spirit. On this Shabbat, we especially think of Linda Applebaum, Cindy Bailey, Dr. Jason Bailey, Katie Bates, Chrissy St. Charles and Dawn St. Charles, Grayson Cook, Dr. Jeff Davis, Danny Jones, Bart Colber, Diane Larson, Scott Leader, Priscilla Leaf and Barton Leaf, Wayne Lewis, Vicki Luger, Kathy Colette Mendel, Isaac Petrosky, Bethany Pridmore, Nancy Russo, Beth Scher, Robin Silverman Ayers, Dr. Lynn Simons, Jean Sklar, Jesse Weisberg, Marguerite Varon, Debbie Wytrack, Allison Davis Freed, and Harvey Weitzelcher. We take this time now to think of our loved ones silently who are in need of healing of body and spirits. Our prayer for healing, we continue with Misha Berach. Shabbat Shalom. I had this oration, hopefully for this large audience, but hopefully it was some with us despite our technical difficulties. You should have received an email. We apologize for our technology, but tomorrow morning Shabbat services, they will be via Zoom only, FYI. There's a few themes about Hanukkah that I wanted to talk about tonight. The first is of reclaiming our sovereignty, the incredible and unimaginable victory over the Greek Seleucids in a military campaign that surely defied the odds and defied the norms. Also, I think the theme speaks to the ability to believe in oneself when the odds are against us, when persecution has penetrated our way of life. We figure not to lose our hope, but to fight for justice. Also, Hanukkah is about religious freedom. Hanukkah must be a celebration about religious freedom like Passover, and after all, the Greeks imposed regulations against Jewish worship, the study of Torah, circumcision, and of course a major fight against idolatry. Also, it's a conversation about the rededication of the Temple in Jerusalem. Again, the crux of the holiday for early Jewish thinkers, especially with the miracle of 8 days of the oil in the temple. We also, nevertheless, need to talk about assimilation. Flirting with Greek culture won't destroy our Jewish identity, and flirting with American culture, we still can be strong, passionate Jews. But the sixth theme is something that I'd like to speak about, and that is Hanukkah is a reminder of becoming what we actually fought against. The Hanukkah story, as presented first truly in the book of Daniel, and then presented in the book of Maccabees, and then in rabbinic literature, they speak of the arch-villain, Antiochus or Antiochus, depending on your pronunciation, the fourth. This person is presented as inherent evil. This person raided the temple, banned Jewish rituals. He extracted wealth from Judea to fund other military campaigns. He corrupted the priesthood, constructed the Akra, which is this fortress in the middle of Jerusalem, increased taxes, and probably the greatest crime that one can do against the Jewish people so long ago, he made their holy temple, our holy temple, a conversion for a shrine for Zeus. Our response then was to challenge this evil directly. Our ancestors wouldn't allow Antiochus IV to win. We mustered, we had the courage, and we defeated an enemy that not only challenged Judaism, but the Jewish people. And again, this idea of defeating Antiochus IV, again, when the odds were so against them, this must be celebrated annually. But the great question is, after a great military defeat or a change in power, what happens next? And for the Maccabees, they had to answer this question. What would self-autonomy look like? How would the Maccabees lead? But painfully, as time would tell us, the Maccabees painfully became what they fought against. Our tradition teaches us they fought against Greek assimilation and Greek culture. But not only did they embody Greek names and Greek culture, they started to act like them, had more corruption. They neglected their duties as prescribed in the Torah. They were very political, which led to a civil war between two brothers, which led to their downfall. At the end of this wonderful story turned painful story, the Maccabees let their guard down. They knew what not to do after seeing Antiochus IV this evil. They knew what success needed to look like. But again, they dropped their guard and paid a terrible price. As I said earlier, there's many ways to glean from the Hanukkah story. But as Jewish history tells us, this idea or image of Antiochus IV always returns. Throughout the past 2,000 years, there's always been different figures and oppressive regimes, especially until the 20th century, against the Jewish people. And for us today, Antiochus IV, our foe, this is anti-Semitism. This is the BDS movement. And I want to say that we have always rallied and done an incredible job, and we have not dropped the guard when facing anti-Semitism. We've responded, and took to heed the Maccabean charge. But even today, this idea of a modern-day Antiochus IV, an oppressive force aimed at us, also attacks all of us, Jew or non-Jew. This type of Antiochus IV, it's relentless. It doesn't care where we come from, or how we worship, or what our political views we hold. This Antiochus IV is COVID. I truly believe that my Erev Rosh Hashanah sermon regarding COVID was the last time I'd speak about this horrible pandemic. Things were looking better. I expressed how COVID totally destroyed our way of life. I felt at that time the message needed to be said. And I genuinely look forward to the future when we could reopen in some safe fashion and begin some type of normalcy. I think we all were wrong. And after Yom Kippur, as October came, this virus has absolutely been relentless. We've been on total defense, even with the hope of the vaccine coming soon. And here we are tonight, celebrating the second night of Hanukkah in an empty congregation. And it's painful to say this, like the Maccabees, we've dropped our guard here. As I said during my Rosh Hashanah sermon, it's never a time to judge our behaviors. I think we all understand this idea of COVID fatigue, not seeing family members, celebrating holidays without loved ones. I think we all get it. For us now to embody the true spirit of the Maccabees and this holiday, we have to get back into the battle sense. We have to go on offense. We have to get our guard up. We have to recognize that to win this battle is not just waiting for a vaccine. It's doing our part too, which I know is the hardest. The numbers are terrifying, and the numbers alone should compel us to get into the fight. But even numbers sometimes can't create empathy. By this time, since March, I think COVID has been a reality for many of us. It's probably attacked a family member, a loved one, or a friend. It's more than a statistic on cable news which we see in the corner. It's personal. This isn't the spring where social distancing became a new expression, and when posting about staying at home was enjoyable for novelty for many. But now this is different. Hanukkah in its modern celebration is about life that speaks to our survival. I can't think of a better holiday that challenges us to do our part, where we commit ourselves to do the Jewish thing, safeguarding all life and living our life by a moral example. Our Haftorah portion, always for Hanukkah, comes from the prophetic book of Zechariah, and it tells us perfectly, not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit. This expression has been with us for all ages. When we felt small and powerless, we are comforted by a resilience of God. And for those historians, this expression from the book of Zechariah was also reinscribed in front of the synagogue of Cologne after World War II. Many of us right now feel small and powerless, but now is the time to have the comfort that God has our protection, and we do our part to comfort others and protect them. We must get our guard up again. If there's ever in doubt, stay home. We will get through this. but we have to get our guard up now more than ever. Shabbat Shalom. We rise together for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, מגורלנו ככל המונם. מה אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision and grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is support in the struggles of life, is also all hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love we are comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of Rose Ahrens, Daniel Alun, Herbert Applebaum, Joni Plow-Speyer, Harry J. Plouse, Jeanette Berman, Henry Robert Bittinger, Davida Sanborn Black, David Blumenthal, Rosalie Canova, Samuel K. Davis, Hyman Dorsky, Irene Eagle and Leo Eagle, Frankie Engel, Sylvia Epsman, Rhea C. Fleur, Nathan Goldstein, Joe Goldstein, Lawrence Harold Goldstein, Richard Irving Gottlieb, Harry Hanover, Carl Hess, Beth Hodes, Charlie Horn, Joyce Elsie Jacobson, Ann Goldblatt Kahn, Mitchell Kravitz, Harry Krentzman, Edward M. Lazarus, Claudia Levinson, Leah Ellen Marks, Martha Martin, George J. Mayer, Bertha Siegel Mayer, Henrietta Michaelov, Annie Moskowitz Miller, Flo Ruth Morris, Etta R. Meyerson, Miriam Goodman Phillips, Morris Radman, Annie Raymond, Philip Rogers, Abraham Isaac Rubin, Edna Minisman Rosen, Chris Rosenberg Callahan, William Rosenberg, Leonard Salit, Elsie Schoenberger, Sidney Seidenman, Goldie Spiegelman, Minnie Mae Wald, Adolph Wheel Jr., and Morris Wertheimer, and a heartfelt condolences in the recent passing of Bruce Simon, the late brother of David Steinman. Fred Friedman, late husband of Brenda Friedman and father of Leah Cohen and Jordan Friedman. And Joseph Katner, brother of Shirley Osband and uncle of Kent Osband. May all of their memories forever be a blessing. We rise together for a sacred Kehillah, a sacred congregation for a Mourner's Kaddish. Yigadal Vigadash Shemei Rabbah, Biomah Divrach Reote Vamlich Malchute, Bechayachon of Yomechon, Uvchayet Kol Beit Yisrael, Bagala Wizman Kari, Vimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam Olamei Amaya. Yit Barach, Yit Shabach, Yit Ba'ar, Yit Romam, Yit Naseh, Vita Dar, Vita Le, Vita Lal, Shemeda Kucha, Leila Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata, Tushbechata V'Nechamata, Damin Ram Bioma, V'Imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael, V'Imru, Amen. Osei Shalom B'Imromav, Huya Say Shalom, Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael, V'Imru, Amen. We conclude with Rock of Ages. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. For those who are still listening, again, we apologize with our technical difficulties, but Shabbat services will happen. Cantor Whitner and I will do them from the comfort of our homes via Zoom. Paul, you have the morning off, and then we will hopefully get everything fixed for our Hanukkah celebration in the sanctuary. It will be working, believe me, by tomorrow night. Shabbat Shalom.
Chagurim Sameach.